Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to a Fresh Stories Book Chats. I am very excited to chat with today's guest, who I'm going to let her introduce herself in a second. And as always, remember you can go check the show notes for the link to pre order and buy these books. I love chatting with authors. I always walk away inspired after every single episode. So I'm very excited. Okay, today's guest, who are you and what did you write?
Hi, I'm Shasta Grant, and I wrote a novel called When We Were Feral, and it comes out on June 9th.
Well, first of all, I love the title so much because feral is one of my favorite words. I feel like it's not used in the way that it should be used often, which is why I'm excited to chat with you. So tell us about the novel. What is this book about?
In a nutshell, it's about three girls who are looking for answers about missing mothers in 1990s New Hampshire. It's a novel about friendship, longing, and the dangers of girlhood.
So, where did this idea come from, Shasta?
It started with a short story. I was more of a short story writer before this novel, and it started more as like a friendship story and kind of the way that young girls can be cruel to each other. That was the start.
Definitely, that is the truth for sure. So, have you always been a writer at heart?
I have, yeah. I won a contest in first grade. Yeah, and I've been pretty much writing ever since.
What did you win the contest for?
I wrote a story about an apple that could walk and talk.
I love that. By the way, I think that that's genius, and I think you should bring that back for a children's book. I am always fascinated when I talk to writers by their process, right? And I have about 600 half-finished novels. What is your process for writing? Do you have the whole outline first? Do you kind of do it as you go? How did this novel come to be?
So this novel came to be. I had a 3-month writing residency at the Kerouac House in Orlando, Florida. And like up until then, this was 2017, I'd only written short stories. And my stories actually kept getting shorter and shorter. And I found flash fiction and really loved that form. But I decided I wanted to take the 3 months because that was a real gift of time to write a novel. And so I wrote like about 1,000 words a day. And I don't know that that's the best way to write a novel, but that's what I did, and so I didn't really plan anything. I would just sit down and see where the story went, and the good thing was that at the end of 3 months, I had a lot of words, about 90,000 words. The bad thing is that it was a very, very shitty first draft.
Well, that's all first drafts have a purpose, right? So, what was something that you found when you were writing this book that came very easily to you?
I would say the girls, the teen girls. So it originally was a dual timeline novel, and it went back and forth between, like when Maggie, my narrator, is 12 and 13, and when she was an adult. And I, the first thing I did in revision was cut that adult timeline because
Mm,
there wasn't any heat there for me. Really, everything I loved about the book was that child timeline.
interesting. Now, did you grow up in New Hampshire? Why New Hampshire?
I did, yeah. And
Okay.
so for me, that just felt like a natural setting because I knew New Hampshire as a young girl. I knew it in the early 90s, and I moved away after college, but I have a lot of longing still for that area. So this was like a way to go back.
I love that. I love that. I've always found talking to authors that whether you're writing a memoir or a novel or even a cookbook, you uncover something about yourself during the process. What was something you uncovered about yourself while writing this book?
I think it's probably something to do with me and my relationship with my mother. I was raised by my grandparents, and I think I didn't realize how many unresolved issues I had about my relationship with her. There's like maternal abandonment is at the root of this story. And so I think it was like a way for me to approach some of those emotions with a different story, a different framework other than my own.
Yeah, I very much understand that. I do that a lot with my own writing about marriage because I write from a narrative perspective and more fictional. It's easier sometimes to do that. Who would you say is the ideal audience for this book?
I think people who like literary fiction, if you liked Julie Buntin's Marlena, you would probably like this. If you are into 90s aesthetic, you would like it. If you're interested in girlhood, I think you would like this.
Well, I think we're all interested in 90s aesthetic and female friendships. Where did the title of the book come from?
Honestly, I don't know. I think it's just one of those things that you can't understand.
I mean, I think that many teen girls are pretty feral, right? Because
Yeah.
they don't really, you are growing up in a world where you are being told to do one thing and conditioned, but your internal dialogue is saying something else, and that can kind of come off a little wolf-like sometimes. So,
Mm.
I love that. Well, I'm excited to read this. Where can people grab the book?
It's available wherever books are sold. It's coming out from Regal House Publishing. It's available on their website or your favorite independent bookstore, Barnes& and Noble, bookshop, anywhere where you buy books.
Amazing. Well, I can't wait to read it. It sounds like it reminds me almost of like Now and Then, right? Like the movie,
Mm.
kind of like just female friendships and I love the tie-in with the mother abandonment because that's all related. And I think that that will touch people in whatever capacity that they have experience with that. So, very excited. Before we let you go, if there is somebody listening and they're considering writing a novel, what would be some words of wisdom that you could leave them with?
I would say if you can create a ritual around your writing time, that's one of my best tips for writing and to really protect it and make it feel special. One thing I did when I was writing this book, I would light a candle at the start of each writing session and I would blow it out at the end. And so that was kind of a marker for my brain and my body that we're going to start writing and now we're stopping. And yeah, and just trying to find the joy in it because if you have the time and capacity and desire to write a novel, that's a beautiful thing and you should celebrate it.
I love that. Thank you so much. We will put the link for the book in the show notes, and I'm so excited to read it.
Thank you, Olivia.